Nobody enjoyed that one, huh? No.
I can't get up that high.
That was about as high as I could go without like really having to scream in y'all's ears. So I did my best to keep it low. But we are back. All four.
Faux
It's faux time. We all back.
Faux show.
Is what it is. The Super Bowl. Let's talk about it. Nobody seems enthused about it.
I don't want to have to not talk about football for another 6 months.
Y'all all seem really excited for the start of this one. I guess it's just the NBA season that brings out the best in you guys.
It's also 3 hours earlier than usual.
Yeah, it is an early one for the fellas.
And it's Valentine's Day.
And it's V-Day. The only person with somebody is Mr. Jaquavius, so enjoy that beef Wellington.
Yeah.
I really hope that turns out well for you. I don't.
I doubt it will.
I was going to say, I don't.
Even if it
Danny's
doesn't,
a good chef, though. So
it's just an experience that you can enjoy
that's
with
right.
your significant other.
That's right.
It's very tough to make, though.
She's a really good cook, so we'll see. I'm probably just going to
Just kind of watch.
Yeah. I won't be able
just
to.
buy the alcohol and
Yeah.
give her some flowers. And
She's got an exam tomorrow, so I don't think there's going to be any alcohol tonight.
That's tough.
It's going to be a different kind of celebration.
Well, nobody said you couldn't have any.
That's true. That's true.
Crack open the Hennessy.
Oh, God.
What? Don Julio?
No,
Bet.
Casamigos.
That's an aphrodisiac right there.
Casamigos.
You don't know what that means?
It means it'll make you take your clothes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
Casamigos.
Casamigos.
It's just overpriced.
It is
Tequila.
overpriced, but it's good.
It's okay. Gives you hangovers, man. Yeah,
Not me.
I'm not the biggest fan.
just
I like tequila, but for $70 I can
No,
get.
it's not $70. It's $50.
We must be buying 2 different bottles of Casamigos.
Yeah,
Then.
I'm buying. It's $50.
I'm buying my Mike's Hards, and I'm perfectly content with them.
I
Give
can't
me a
drink
couple
those either,
Tweez.
man.
I'm in that
I'll
boat
take the
with you,
tweez.
Joe.
I'll take the
Yeah.
tweez. The Mike's Hard.
The what? The Tweez?
Tweez.
Twisted Teas.
Twisted tea.
Oh, I've never had one.
Do you like sweet tea?
It's all right.
You'd probably
Then
like
you think
these
it's
because
aight.
yeah, they're not because they're not super sweet.
And you can't really. I don't think you can taste any.
You
alcohol.
can't like taste any alcohol, and there's no carbonation, which I like.
Perfect for shock.
I thought that carbonation gets in your blood quicker or something.
Somebody might have
It
been.
makes you sicker. Is what I've read.
No.
I don't like them like stuff like Mike's Hard because there's so much sugar in it. That's what gives you hangovers.
That's what tastes good, though.
That's when you wake up the next morning.
Then try a tweed, because if it's about the taste, then you don't taste any alcohol in a tweed. It just tastes like sweet tea. And there's like half and half. There's like lemonade tea.
I've become a real white girl,
Oh no!
especially during the cutting phase of my.
Couple Trulies. Couple
No,
White Claws.
man.
Those things suck, bro.
Give me Tito's, soda water, and a lime.
Ew.
It's pretty much straight
Alcohol.
alcohol.
Ugh.
But you can't taste. It's funny because you can't taste it, really, a little bit.
I had those when I was in Dominican. And it was ugh.
Well, but you might have had some of that. Like they might have told you it was like vodka in there, and
Yeah,
you
it's
were getting
probably
like
fake shit.
homemade Dominican rum. I got a funny story about
the pool
that, but
bar.
I stick to my Sky vodka.
I had Dominican rum in the Dominican Republic out of just like a homemade
Bottle.
Yeah, I mean it was like somebody's mason jar from home.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible.
It's a very popular thing. It's rum, and then you also put wine, and then you put some cinnamon stuff in it, I believe, and you let it ferment in wood for like a week, and then that's how they make it.
It's a real aphrodisiac. Is what they say. Like,
I have a bottle at my house of the wood with instructions on how to make it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's their aphrodisiac. Like it's pretty strong. I don't know what it is about like the wood or the cinnamon or something, but like
Oh, it's about the wood for sure.
It'll give you some wood.
Shit.
Let me see if I can find what it is.
Getting into the Super Bowl, we have a dynasty on our hands.
We're sorry, man.
Mama Juana.
Yeah. I remember some dude
It's
came.
rum, spices, honey, and wine.
We were literally like on the beach, and some dude just kind of came like walking out of the woods and just was like trying to pass it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, he asked.
I bet you Travis Kelce had some of that after they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. It's early, and my brain still hasn't like
Stuck on alcohol at 9 in the morning.
Yeah, it hasn't fully like developed yet this morning. So,
But we have ourselves a dynasty.
we do have ourselves a dynasty.
The fourth Super Bowl in 5 years. And what did I say?
Third.
Their fourth Super Bowl appearance
appearance.
in 5 years.
Third
Their third
ring.
ring. What did I say last week? It was just bound to happen. A team of destiny.
Well, I don't think you were the only one who said it, but since you want to,
I mean, Kyle Shanahan, if you go to fucking, how many, is it 3 now?
3, yeah.
And you're up double, you got to win one of them, man. You have
Well,
to. It's
do
like the
you?
Bills. If you go to 4 straight Super Bowls, you got to win one,
If
right?
Kyle Shanahan,
Yeah, or the Vikings.
if Kyle Shanahan only had to
If you're up
coach,
by 25 points in the third quarter, you should probably win that one too.
Yeah.
I don't have one. You don't have one.
I
is
got
what it
6
is.
of them.
if
have
he only
two.
had to coach,
You have 2. You yourself have 2. You've been able to.
So I've never
Actually,
lost
you didn't
one.
even get.
So I've never lost one.
You didn't even get to see any.
So I've
Yeah,
never-
I
of
watched
the first-
I
of
watched the
the-
Cardinals one.
Yeah, so like you yourself have gotten to see one.
So
ring.
I've never lost one. If that by that logic, you've lost one and I've never lost one.
That's okay though. I've seen one. You haven't even seen one.
I'd rather not see one than see that one.
Fair enough. At least
But-
it was to the GOAT. Like if I had to say, if it would have been to like
You lost to Patrick Mahomes?
Tom Brady.
you should have
Let-
beat
let's
the
be
goat.
real.
Second goat.
You should have beat the goat.
Let's not start that already.
He's
not
on
start
goat
that.
trajectory.
On trajectory. He's still
He's
got.
already a top 5 quarterback. of
He's
all
got
time.
12 more years, 4 more rings, and a lot more passing statistics to rack up before.
And the good thing about
is
this,
Tom Brady.
this one, as opposed to the MJ Jordan one or MJ LeBron one, is that these guys actually went head to head when Brady was kind of out of his prime, and
Yeah, when
still
Brady
whooped
was
that ass.
True.
40,
It's true.
handed him his first regular season, first postseason, and first Super Bowl loss. So
With Brady beating him like that, I think the only way he would pass him is if he got,
got
to
8
8
rings.
It was if he got to
he's got to
8.
get 8. He's got to get 8, and he's got to break all of Brady's records to be the GOAT, in my opinion. Because we saw the matchup.
Brady,
You've
tapped
seen the
that
matchup, and that was the best Chiefs offense that they've had
Probably.
in that 18-19 AFC Championship, and then the Bucks Chiefs Super Bowl.
Yeah,
You had
they still
Kelsey, you had
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. So
They just didn't have Juju. Who really would have won?
yeah, they really would have overcame that 30 points. But the Super Bowl, Jesus, man.
If Shanahan only had to coach 30 minutes of football, he would be the goat of coaches. He would already be better than anybody. But
Unfortunately, there's always a second half, and Shanahan seems to only game plan for the first half. In the second half, he's like, let's just come out here and wing it.
He's a drunkard.
He's a
he
what?
was he was drunk in his media day, so maybe that carried over. Well, you saw one of those offensive linemen was going back and forth with the one.
Yeah, I saw that.
My bad, bro. I woke up hungover.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, I don't know. That game was just, it was disappointing and then not disappointing and still disappointing all at the same time. Does that make sense?
Well, it wouldn't have been disappointing if San Francisco would have won, and if it was the same exact game and San Francisco would have won instead of the Chiefs, it would have been a very good Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it was a really, really good Super Bowl.
I think
loved watching it.
the second half was great. The first half, there was a lot left to be desired.
I guess.
Both teams played very sloppy football in the first half. You had that opening drive fumble by CMC, and then I don't know if it was on the ensuing possession or the possession after where they're down in the red zone and Pacheco fumbles the football. And then
Mahomes
you
throws
had-
that
pick.
pig.
The Mahomes pick was second half.
Mm-mm. I don't think so. I
Yeah,
think
it was,
right
to,
after. I
it
think
was to open the second half. It was their very first possession. Overthrew Travis Kelce on third down.
I thought it was right after the Pacheco fumble. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, I thought they drove down and got a field goal after the Pacheco fumble.
We'll see.
Yeah, second. No, Yeah. Beginning of the second half. That was the Chiefs' first drive. Because there was that bad snap. And then, yeah. So it was the very first play of the second half, or the very first possession of the second half. Mahomes throws that pick.
I feel like the Niners had so many opportunities to just
Run away
take
with
care of
that
that game and put a bow on it. And what do you know? The Chiefs keep crawling back, 10 unanswered in the third, and then the fourth was pretty much just back and forth with field goals other than that one TD.
Well, I mean, you make an extra point, you win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially. I mean,
More than likely. It at least forces the Chiefs to have to be a lot more.
because when Butker kicked that field goal to tie it, if they kick the extra point and it's good, maybe they go for it. Maybe they get it. Maybe they score a TD. Who knows? But
It would have forced their hand.
it opens it keeps the entire playbook open. Like, we can kick a field goal here and we're fine. But
What are you talking about? We can kick.
like here when they blocked the PAT, the Chiefs went down and kicked a field goal to tie the game. But if he made that extra point, they'd be down 4.
They have to score a touchdown
yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, but since there was no PAT, that keeps the game plan open. Like, we can kick a field goal here and it'll be tied and we're
Yeah,
fine.
okay. It was just the way you said it. It made it sound like you were talking more about like the Niners, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
I thought the Niners defense finally showed up for once, which in the playoffs, I felt like it was their best overall game, like as an entire unit.
Shout out Chris Conley on special teams.
Shout out
right.
Chris Conley. Dude was out
Dog.
there dogging. Mahomes had a Mahomes-like day. I didn't realize how many total yards he had.
He had over like 320 total, didn't he?
He had over 400 total
Did he?
scrimmage yards. 333 passing yards and 66 yards on 9 carries on the ground.
Leading
Leading rusher.
That's 399.
Is it?
Yeah.
I wasn't. I didn't do quick math. I was just like, yeah, that sounds about right. So he had basically 400 yards from scrimmage. CMC had himself a day. I know you were at my apartment watching it with us, and I said before the game, if the Niners win it, Super Bowl MVP will be
Juwan Jennings.
Christian McCaffrey. I think it still would have been CMC.
I think it would have been Juwan Jennings for sure.
You think so?
100%.
I don't put much weight into that pass that he.
Well, he had a passing touchdown and a receiving touchdown, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
CMC had
and he made a
only
bunch
other
of
player
big
to do that's Nick
catches.
Bolt.
CMC had 160 total yards from scrimmage and a touchdown.
He also had that fumble.
He did have the fumble.
I
but-
thought it would have been Jennings. I thought Conley should have been in the running.
I mean,
He was the most impactful player on special teams by a mile.
yeah, I think if he would have had a few more catches
If
on
he had like
offense,
6 catches, but he had 2 catches on third down too.
yeah, he would have just had to have like
A touchdown. He needed a
or one of
touchdown.
those or a big catch.
Yeah.
Like Mikol's catch in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter, I think, that just
The
absolutely
50-yarder?
bombed downfield. Yeah,
Was that in the fourth quarter?
Third or
I'm
fourth.
Forgetting this game.
third or fourth. It was definitely second half.
After looking at, I this is just how I feel. I don't know how you guys feel, but after watching that, I don't think Shanahan is a playoff coach at all. I think the talent on that team was what carried them to the Super Bowl. It should have won them the Super Bowl. But if you like looking back at their 3 games against the Packers,
Mm-hmm.
the Lions, and the Chiefs, I think that was all just kind of
Talent.
it was all just talent winning. I don't think any of the game plans were good. They survived the Packers. They
Yeah, I
got
mean, they
luck-
could have easily been the Cowboys.
Who they ripped up on earlier in the year. They beat him by like 30.
Yeah, but I mean, like in the playoffs, they could have easily been the pack, or they could have been the Cowboys in the sense of like just all that talent just gone
yeah,
to waste.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying like the Packers could have been the Cowboys, which
No,
is
no,
true.
no, no, no.
Well, if the Cowboys didn't get dooted on
Yeah,
by
if they
the
didn't get shit on.
Packers,
I am saying San Francisco could have
No,
easily.
we know. I know. You know. You understand what he's saying?
No.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
saying
That's what
he's saying they could have been the Cowboys and had all the talent in the world, but just kind of fallen on their face.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see what
just
you mean.
Fucking completely shit the bed. They were this close
Mm-hmm.
to being a bigger laughingstock somehow than the Cowboys were this year. That close. I think if that game is played in Green Bay, San Francisco loses.
Probably.
If the same game is played in Green Bay,
Probably.
same game script, same game plan shows up on the field, I think Green Bay wins that game.
Because Purdy didn't. Well, Purdy had an okay game.
And then they should have lost to Detroit had it
Yeah.
not been for a Kyle Shanahan-esque collapse in the second half by Dan Campbell. Just a terrible game plan in the second half. They would have lost that game. Should have lost that game.
And I know game plans are different, but after watching the Chiefs against the Niners, do you think the Lions would have beat them
No.
again? You think
No.
the Chiefs would have won either way?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just some food for thought.
Chiefs
That
are just
defense-
lucky they didn't play Pittsburgh in the playoffs. That's all I'm gonna say.
That defense was too good this year. Like, that's what got them to where they were, in my opinion, was the defense.
It's that big boy in the middle.
Obviously, you have Patrick Mahomes, but, like, their coverage all day on Sunday was a blanket. Brock Purdy had nowhere to throw the football all day. L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie were playing lockdown,
McDuffie had a good game, except he got called for a bad holding.
and Chris Jones was consistently in the backfield. Consistently. I mean, all day he was in the backfield. So it was the second half was much better than the first half. The first half was boring. The first half was boring to me. I was like, damn, this is really the kind of Super Bowl we're gonna get. We're gonna get a redo of the Patriots Rams. I was like, this shit's gonna be boring. Obviously, like, good defense is always nice to see, but in this day and age, just like the NBA, most people just want to see scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's kind of contradictory to what I normally say about the NBA. I like to see defense in the NBA, but I don't think anybody would want to see like an 82-79 Game 7 in the finals, and that's kind of what it felt like we were going to get in the Super Bowl. So I'm glad the second half showed up the way it did. Unfortunately, I wanted the Niners to win, but I did pick the Chiefs, so glad my pick showed up.
I think it'll be interesting to see what the Chiefs do next year. They might not have Chris Jones. He might walk.
They'll sign him back.
It's
gonna
gonna
be expensive.
if they want to tag him this year, it's gonna cost them $32 million, and they managed to get that 1-year deal out so he could play this year. But
That was crucial for them, too. I don't think they're where they're at without him this year.
No.
and they're gonna need to pick up a weapon on offense. They'll probably do that in the draft.
But
If
have
they
to
don't
pick
draft,
up a
they'll
weapon?
draft a receiver in the first round for sure. They'll probably. My guess is that it'll be A.D. Mitchell at the end of the first round. He'll
I
be there
wouldn't-
sitting at 32.
I wouldn't necessarily say they have to pick up another offensive piece, though.
Yeah, they just got to bring back Kadarius.
Could they use one?
Where else would they
Absolutely,
go?
but I'm not saying
Sky Moore.
that is the correct pick. What I'm saying is, I don't really think you can look at him and necessarily go, they have to pick up an offensive skill position guy because they just won the Super Bowl.
I
So,
think if
I think Patrick Mahomes has kind of proved that he does have the Brady ability to just make whoever he has on the team around him better. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think
You get a receiver, yes, because who else, like, there's not really many other needs that you would address at 30. It picked 32 this year in the first round with all the wide receiver talent. So I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying I don't think you can look at the team and go like they have to go get somebody because they just won the Super Bowl with Travis Kelce and a bunch of.
Hey, Rashee Rice is on the
Rice
come
is
up.
good.
I think it'll also partially, like, if they lose Chris Jones, I think they'll have to because that defense will get worse.
Oh, address
You know-
defensive.
Well, I think
address receiver. Address edge.
They could address.
I don't know if if the top edge guys are going to be there at 32. So if
They don't need.
if
If
your
you're
defense is-
replacing Chris Jones, he's not edge. You need a DT.
Yeah.
I'm just like, if the defense gets worse and there's not a guy there at 32, make the offense better so you can score more points next year in case the defense, maybe you don't get a DT in free agency. So if the
I
defense,
don't think there's a lot of.
I'll look it up.
it's going to be a real weak. It's going to be a real weak free agency class. I don't know. Other than Byron Murphy, I'm not.
Byron Murphy's good. Jerson Newton's good.
Yeah.
Murphy, I don't think will be there at 32.
He
So
won't.
you
Newton
got
will. Probably.
DJ Reader, Grover Stewart, Fletcher Cox, Sheldon Rankins, Austin Johnson, DeQuan Jones. Yeah.
So
Oh,
they could
he's too
they could
old.
probably get somebody to fill that role. It won't be the same.
Does it say
Dan-
Christian Wilkins? is
Daniil
good?
Hunter's.
Yep.
Daniil Hunter's a free
What's his
agent.
market value?
I mean, there is some
21,
talent.
Yeah.
There is some talent out there this year at the edge/DT. Chris Jones,
I didn't realize how old Chris Jones was. He's
He's like
almost
30.
30.
Daniil Hunter will be a free agent. Randy Gregory will be a free agent.
Quentin Jefferson.
Marcus
DJ
Davenport will be a free
Wanham,
agent.
Yeah, every single Vikings edge rusher is on free agency.
Zadarius Smith will be a free agent. I don't want to butcher this dude's name.
Yannick Ngakoue.
Yannick Ngakoue, yeah.
Will be a free agent.
I don't think he's that good though. If he's the one I'm thinking of.
He's on the Bears.
Okay, maybe not. I thought he was on the Steelers.
Fletcher Cox, Sheldon Rankins will be a free agent. Chase Young will be a free agent.
Yeah.
And all these guys are unrestricted free agents, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Danico Autry will be a free agent. He's old, though. Daquan Jones. There's no way Calais Campbell does not retire. Leonard Floyd. Justin Jones.
Floyd would be a good pickup for the Chiefs.
Josh Allen is a free agent.
He'll get re-signed.
34-year-old Bobby Wagner.
No thanks.
There is some defensive talent, though, out there this year.
Taven Bryan would be another good one that they'll probably.
Spagnuolo will probably get some cheap guy on the free agent market and turn him into the next DPOY candidate.
That's what I'm saying. Taven Bryan's a 27-year-old. He was former first-round pick. He'll probably get a shot with somebody.
Spag has now became the first coordinator in NFL history to win, I believe it was 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Dude is he's a walking, living legend.
Jack, do you believe that these players did not know the overtime rules?
No. I don't believe that shit.
I don't know. Kind of. I kind of do. Like, why would they all say it if they didn't know? Like, what's the point of saying they didn't know? Like, doesn't that just make them look worse?
Yeah. Makes Kyle Shanahan look like a shitty coach.
Like, what's the point of saying that if it's not true? Like, we lost. Let's say we didn't know the rules.
And then he said, "Well, we wanted the ball third." You saw that?
Yes.
That
What
one
kind of game plan
Okay,
is
but
that?
hold on. I don't think a lot of people are looking at it and just being like, "Well, obviously you kick the ball away." The defense was just on the field for a grueling drive to try and keep the Chiefs from kicking a field goal to send the game to overtime.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's as like cut and dry as everybody's making it out to be. I think it's very tough to look at all the offensive weapons you have and the ability you should have to take the ball and go down and score.
And then you
and
should
go,
have went for it.
My defense has just been on the field for.
They should have went for it then, because you know damn well Mahomes is not selling for a field goal if you score a field goal there. He's not doing it.
I think it's tough to go for it on fourth. They were.
You're losing either
How
way.
long? How long was that field goal?
Which one?
53 yards.
The Moody one? In
No, not
overtime?
the overtime one. The overtime
No.
one was short.
It was like 20.
yeah,
So it was
you
the
were
same
right there.
distance as the extra point. It was like 21 almost. It was super short.
Oh, I would have gone for it then, yeah.
Because I mean,
It was
there's no
inside
way.
the 10, I think.
Kansas City's 9-yard line,
Fourth and 4.
4th and 4. So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't go.
Just throw something.
You would have kicked the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Why?
Because guarantee
Because-
yourself points. There's
But you're
no
gonna lose.
guarantee that Patrick Mahomes
but there's no
scores.
guarantee that they score a touchdown.
If yes, there.
There's
They
a
didn't
there's
score
a
a
much there's a much better chance that especially if you don't score the points. Now they know all they have to get is a field goal, and
Harrison
they have
Butker's
4
automatic from inside of 55.
and they
so-
have
If your
4
entire
downs to do it.
If your entire game plan is you want the ball third, and you're gonna have the faith in your offense to go down there and score a touchdown so that the Chiefs can match it and you can go back and win the game, then why would you settle for a field goal?
But I don't think it was all about him just being like, it's my offense. It's an offensive team. We're going to go down and score a touchdown. I think a large part of that was your defense was just on the field I know it was the Chiefs got the ball back with in the fourth quarter. They got the ball back with 1:53 to go, but like that was a tough drive.
Mm-hmm.
Down the field. Your defense was just on the field. I think you look at it and you go, we know what kind of firepower they have on that side. We know that our defense is tired. I don't want to just give him a free possession. With my tired defense, they're coming out here first possession. They know they got to get a touchdown. They're going to try and march down the field.
They know they got to get a touchdown.
I don't know. I don't completely disagree with the call. I'm taking points. I don't know how you, because then if you go for it and you don't get it,
Mm-hmm.
you give them the ball back and you go, all right, you only got to make it to like the
30, 40.
From your
40-yard
own,
line.
from inside your own 10, yeah. If you have faith in your defense, then I like that spot better than putting him at the 25 and having Mahomes drive down the field to score a touchdown like he does every single time he's in that situation. Every time.
I don't know. I think if you,
Every fucking time he does it.
I think
But
if
if he
you take,
goes
I
for
think
it-
if you take the ball first, you have to get points
Regardless.
no matter what.
In a regular game, yeah, but in overtime, if the other team scores a touchdown, you lose the game. No.
I don't know. I think if you have enough faith in your defense, I'm taking the points. We're playing for that third possession, so I'm going to take the points.
But if you have
I'm
enough
gonna
faith in your defense, why would you not go for the win? Because if you have that faith, and they're going to stop them
Because
inside
if
their
you
own
have
10.
that
Yeah, because
because if you have that faith,
the
if you have
difference
the same
between
faith in the
stopping them-
defense is you have 3 points. If you have the same faith in the defense of stopping them, you automatically win if you get 3 points. If you get 3 points and they stop like you think they're going to stop, then you win.
versus if
If you don't get it, you give it to them. You have the same face. You don't get it, like they don't get it either, but you have to go try and score again. It's not like you win. If you kick the field goal, then have faith in the defense, and they stop them, you win the game.
I don't know, man. You just have to stab that guy in the heart. You can't.
Yeah,
You can't let him
but-
have a heartbeat.
Either way, to me, you take the points, you go for it, get it, don't get it. Between the players and the coaches, there has to be some better prep on that last defensive drive. It was horrible.
I don't know
Especially the last
what
play.
killed me was the last play. That defense was not set.
I think they were assuming that they were just going to run the clock out and start the next overtime quarter from that spot.
And
They were
then-
just standing there. And then that last play gave me real James White vibes
It was the exact same play that they ran against the Eagles last year.
to win the game.
With 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter to score the touchdown that put them up for good. Same play.
It's just like,
Nobody was set. It wasn't a great game plan at the end, but I think it's very easy from the outside for us to look at it and be like, how do you not take the ball? Or how do you not kick? How do
I
you not
believe
take
they
the,
didn't know the rules. If they why would they do that if they knew the rules?
I don't think that's just on the coach though. You're
No,
a
I
player.
don't- yeah, I think
you
everybody-
need to know the damn rules.
that last
I
yeah,
agree,
that,
but I believe that they didn't know the rules. I agree that it's on all of them though.
that last drive just seemed too easy to me. It just like, we got the field goal. All we got to do is hold them to a field goal.
I
And
think
then
the
it was,
toughest part about giving the ball back and you did score the field goal is now the Chiefs know they have 4 downs. And
Yes, I still think they kick the field goal if.
well, they would, yeah, but they know like, okay, we got the ball at 25.
Oh yeah.
We've
up
got
until
4
like
down.
the 40-yard line. They
Yeah,
have
up
4 down.
until
It's 4
you're
down, yeah.
in Butker range and it's 4th and 5, and you're like, okay, well, we gotta
I don't even know if they got to a 3rd down. I feel like they just
They-
kinda,
first.
was that Mahomes scramble on 3rd down. in
There was the
overtime?
3rd down scramble, and then there was like the 4th and no, the 4th down was the
in
Mahomes
fourth-
scramble.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was in.
They got to a 3rd and a 4th down. Yeah, so the very first set of downs, they got to 4th and 1, and that was the Mahomes scramble. And then they got him to 3rd and 6, and that was the pass to Rashee Rice
And the third
for a
one was
big
another
game.
Mahomes
And then they got
scramble.
another 3rd and 1, and that was when Mahomes had the big scramble.
Just never felt like none of those felt like they weren't gonna get it. Like every single time, I thought they were gonna. Like I was like, oh, they're gonna get this.
Yeah, because Mahomes does it every time.
I think it's very easy to sit back and like pick apart, and you're not in it, and you don't know what the coach just heard from his defense. You don't know if the guys came off the field and was like, "Hey, coach, we're like, if you need us to get a stop, like we need a breather."
You need Dre Greenlaw, which didn't.
That
happen.
was so tough, man. That was
hard to watch.
that was horrible because that dude, Fred Warner is obviously the guy, but Dre Greenlaw plays just as
major
well.
role.
Just as well as Fred Warner does, and he is the energy guy. He's the hype man. He's the headhunter on that field. Like, he's your Bobby Wagner to a very stout, very talented defense. He might be a little underrated at times compared to some of the other guys on his team, not talked about as much, but he's the glue. He's the guy that holds that defense together and gets everybody hyped up, and that was just so... Just to see, like, the injury came from dude just literally being so hyped to get back out on the field
That his
and go hunt
Achilles.
heads. That his Achilles, that the football gods just decided to snipe him on the sidelines. Very
On the
tough
bright
to watch.
on the bright side, though, I think we're getting to a point with the NFLPA where they're just going to force the NFL's hand at some point with the grass. I think it's going to happen.
with the no more turf
Yeah.
and like only.
I think
real grass, yeah.
within the next I'd say probably 3 years, with the polls that they've done, that 92% of players want natural grass, and
Yeah, because I think you might-
turf is like a 67% more likelihood of like a season-ending Achilles or knee injury. They're gonna force their hand at some point. The players are gonna.
Yeah, because I think you could get to a point where, like, some of these top guys, especially, like
We might
as
have
the season
another.
progresses, if your team's doing well, like, you can start to see guys, like, if you go on a stretch where you got, like, 6 grass games, because it is, like, half and half in the league right now. Like, half the stadiums have grass, half have turf. You could see some of these higher paid, big-name guys, especially as you get later in the season, if your team's, like,
I'm
set
not
up well.
playing.
Yeah, you go, like, 6 straight games on grass, and then you've got, like, 1 turf game, and then you go back to grass. I literally think with all the injuries that have came up off of turf, you could start to see, like, guys go, I'm not playing in this game. I'm not playing on turf. I'll see you guys next game. We head over to another grass field, but I'm not playing on the turf today.
I think especially after this year, I think will be the turning point with A-Rod, Kirk, Greenlaw. Some guys
with
like
the
Jalen
quarterbacks.
Phillips.
Normally you have your defensive injuries. You have a running back or two that has, a bad knee injury, but with all the starting quarterbacks this year and a bunch of people having to watch guys like Easton Stick play like Jake Browning or something like that, like nobody wants to watch that shit.
I think
Not even the fans of the teams want to watch that shit. They want to watch their guy.
this might be a bit of a hot take. This will be my hot take of the week if we ever get to it. But I think in the next 3 years, we'll get to a point where they either are like, okay, we'll put all the grass on the fields again, or we'll have like a lockout type situation where these guys are like, we not even going to play unless you change it.
You think they'll switch them all before? Because a lot of NFL stadiums
Kind
are
of what I
doing
just
the
said.
World Cup. I think they might. Switch
Yeah,
them all
well,
before
like
then.
MetLife Stadium is doing natural grass for the World Cup, but they're
Because none of the soccer teams will play on turf.
Nope.
yeah.
Not
you're-
a chance.
But you're keeping these guys in the NFL on turf.
I think we'll probably see it before the World Cup starts.
So we've got 2 years till the World Cup.
26.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with as many players like this year who have been outspoken about it. And when you've got big name guys like Rodgers, Kirk
And
Cousins,
Jalen Phillips,
Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, all going down to season-ending knee or Achilles injuries, you've got to make the change because you want to see your best players on the field. Like, that's what people pay to watch. It's what people buy tickets for. People do not buy tickets to show up to a Jets game to watch Zach Wilson play. They don't. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to watch him play. So,
But round of applause. Hats off to another NFL season.
another NFL season in the books.
Go Chiefs.
Go Taylor.
We will
Yes. The Super Bowl album going to hit different.
Nah, Kanye's album still clears. Number one artist in the world right now.
we will be sitting, watching, waiting for the NFL to come back around.
Well, it's still around. This is my favorite. This is my favorite time of the NFL season.
Really?
The next 3 months, yeah.
For the draft.
Draft season.
This is your favorite time of the year?
I've said this, and I'll say it again in
with
public.
no football.
Your favorite part of the
I'd
season
rather
is-
watch the draft than the Super Bowl.
Your favorite part of the season is the off season.
I've said that since
Yeah, he has. Said,
since
he
like
said the draft is
2017.
favorite.
I'd rather watch the draft than the
What
Super
is it about the draft that they gets you so up?
I don't know, but I love it. It's my favorite.
You can see all them sexy men with their helmets off,
That's right.
In suits.
That's right. No.
fitted suits.
And their tight pants.
Yeah,
And their
Yeah.
wives.
some of them.
Will Levis.
She's nah,
She proved to herself that she didn't deserve the...
Yeah.
the
She-
Mayo.
No. She's not built for that kind of stuff.
Nah, she likes the country singers.
You know who is? Christian Juszczyk.
Kyle. Oh, Kyle.
It's not Christian. It's Kirsten.
My bad. I didn't know he knew her that well.
You've been talking about her for the last week straight. Don't give me that shit. I'm pretty sure it's Kirsten. Let's see.
Damn, if you're wrong, that's going to be
I know.
crazy.
Fuck. I don't even know where to start with his last name. It's like JS.
J-U-S.
JUSYZHK. Something like that.
Oh, it is Kristen. Kristen. You said Christian.
I said Kristen.
You did not. You said Christian.
I heard Kristen. I don't know.
Whatever's right is what I heard.
Yeah.
I definitely heard Christian. That's why I corrected you.
Right.
I heard Christian. I was like, there's only one Christian on that damn team.
Okoye.
McCaffrey. Well, I guess there's more than one.
Is he
but-
still on this Christian? I thought
he was on like
Chiefs.
the Jags.
Christian Okoye?
Yeah.
No, he's like a 80s Chiefs legend.
Yeah, he's a Chiefs guy.
The Nigerian Nightmare.
Yeah.
That's a badass name. I
Sounds
think-
pretty sexy.
It got me all riled up.
But yeah, draft season's upon
That's what
us.
the NBA. That's what the podcast is gonna sound like now that the NFL's over.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
cool and silent. Well, I'm trying to.
Draft season is right around the
I'm
corner.
really
Okay.
excited for this draft.
That's what I thought. They also you said Nigerian Nightmare. And that's what they call Kamaru Usman, to the UFC fighter. So I knew that name.
He ripped Okoye's nickname.
I knew that name. Name rang a bell. Okay,
But I think this is gonna be probably one of the best draft classes we've had in the past.
For offense, yes. It's a really
Past
weak.
few
It's
years.
like a weaker defensive class, which is weird. There's not
Is
gonna be
it?
there's not gonna be a defensive player taken until like pick 8.
I wouldn't say it's weak though. I just think it's very heavy. On the D line.
Most important. Or not most.
Yeah, but there's not a linebacker that's graded higher than like a mid-second rounder.
That's what I said. It's
I
very
know.
deep
then
at
in
the
terms
D
of-
line, and then you've got a few standout corners.
You've got
And then
Terrion,
the rest of
Kool-Aid,
it-
DeJean, Wiggins.
Quinion, Mitchell.
I'm interested to see where Cooper DeJean goes.
He's falling. Like in the last week, his stock's been falling.
Well,
he doesn't have as much film from this past season, so it's kind of
Fractured leg.
the new era of NFL football. I mean the focus is on offense, and just with all the wide receiver talent, the tackles that you have, guys like
I
Brock
think-
Bowers is here.
I think the top 5 or 6 wide receiver prospects could all be playmakers next year.
There will probably be 6 or 7 taken in the first round because you'll have Marvin,
You'll have Marv, Malik,
Malik,
Brian Thomas.
yeah, Roman Dunze.
He'll probably get taken first round just because
Yeah,
I've seen
Keon
some.
could be first round.
I've seen Ladd in the first round in a couple recently. He's been climbing.
Just depending on.
And then like AD Mitchell.
AD Mitchell, I feel like, is a lock at 32. I have no, like, AD Mitchell feels like.
It's either going to be AD or Xavier Worthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like AD's just very one-dimensional, in my opinion. But he's really good at what he's good at. So
It's time to start watching some film.
that's right. Time to start getting the draft board together.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Sucks for him.
What?
Justin Fields 2024 team odds. Pittsburgh is
Yeah, I was
number
going to
one.
say, speaking of Pittsburgh, we got a new Justin Fields candidate.
Honestly,
It's okay.
I wouldn't be terribly mad. He's better than Kenny for sure.
You
I'm not
wouldn't
gonna
be
be like-
terribly mad.
I mean, he's not a good quarterback, but
I think he's a lot better than people give him. I don't know. I think I'm on the Justin Fields train. I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for.
I think
he still has some stuff that he needs to work on. I think his progression through his reads could be a little bit quicker.
I also think if he had a better offensive line and more playmakers to throw the ball to, he wouldn't have to stand in the pocket so long.
I think if he comes to the AFC North, we still have the third worst quarterback in the division.
I mean, he's not better than Lamar or Joe.
I still think he's better than Deshaun, though.
I think
His running ability.
Yeah,
You'd take Bo Nix at 20?
probably. I mean, we don't have success drafting the.
I've seen a lot
Bo
of
Nix at 20? That's where
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett was
I've
drafted.
seen a
too.
lot of mocks having Pittsburgh take Mims.
Yeah, I have too. Mims,
What position is that?
OT.
Tackle.
Georgia's offensive tackle. You'd have Georgia dogs on both sides.
I feel like a offensive lineman's never a bad pick.
I've seen a lot of J.J. McCarthy in the top 12.
Yeah,
He's climbing hard.
Atlanta.
He shouldn't.
I've seen him. I've seen him. The Broncos trade up to 6
No,
to take him.
I have seen the Broncos because that feels like a Sean Payton-esque
I've seen
quarterback.
the Falcons take him.
If
I've
we
seen
take
a lot
him,
of Vikings
I
take
will
him.
not watch a game next year if we take J.J. McCarthy, and I got a good feeling that the front office knows that
knows that
about
you're
the fan. Huh?
Fuck Zach.
Zach
We're
Torrey's
not
not
picking
going to
No,
watch
no,
our
no, they
game.
know. No, I think they know the fan base would lose their absolute shit
I
if we
think-
took J.J. McCarthy in top 10, dude.
I think
that's not even a
we're-
first round NFL quarterback.
I think as viewers and fans, we are quick to judge. I think
don't think it's
McCarthy's
quick to
better than
judge.
I think McCarthy's
I think
better than we
it's-
think. I think there's a reason that like NFL GMs and scouts are saying he's a top 12 player and saying
Well, NFL GMs and scouts also said that Mitchell Trubisky was a top 3 pick.
And Zach
So-
Wilson.
And
Sam
Zach
Darnold.
Wilson,
but they
Sam
said
Darnold, Trey Lance. NFL GMs and scouts have said a lot of things and been wrong about a lot of things.
but they also had Purdy falling to the last pick in the draft and Brady fell to 199. Russell Wilson was a 4th rounder, Dak was a 4th rounder, like
Exactly.
they're wrong
Okay.
a lot. They're
Yeah.
wrong a lot.
but
but, like,
are you saying like
Just because
let's
just
not
because
go out
we
here and
think,
act like Dak has done?
yeah, but he's better than a
incredible
4th
things in the
round
league.
quarterback. But what I'm saying is just because we don't think they're great means scouts see something that we don't. Because
Yeah,
obviously
but just because scouts think he's better than we think he is doesn't mean he will be either. That goes both ways.
I think the reason that you don't think that he's very good is because he doesn't have the numbers.
Well, Kenny
He
Pickett has the
hasn't had to
numbers.
make plays.
When he is asked to make plays, he makes plays.
It's very easy to make 1 or 2 plays in a game when majority of the game you do not have any pressure on you to do so. It's a
So-
lot harder to be Patrick Mahomes and have to make play after play after play in a game than it is to be a guy like Brock Purdy was this year, where only a couple times in games you're asked to make plays.
So you'd be
You're-
mad if you had Brock Purdy? Because that's
I don't think he's playing nowhere near as well in Atlanta as he is in San Francisco right now. And I think
I don't think anybody. I literally think you could put Josh Dobbs in that offense, and it wouldn't make it be a Super Bowl team, but it'd be a playoff team.
the Falcons offense.
No,
Oh,
the
the
49ers.
Niners. Yeah.
You could put Kenny Pickett in that offense.
yeah, which is exactly what I
Not
think you
Mitch,
could have
though.
put a lot of college quarterbacks in that Michigan system this last year, and they would have won the national championship.
Kyle McCord.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he's going to be a top 12 pick because of his winning the national championship.
I think that plays a large role in it.
How big?
That's
how
a
tall
large.
is
That's
he?
a large reason why Jaden Daniels is is
Like
a
6'5"?
projected top 5 pick right now
JJ?
because he won a Heisman.
No.
You think that Heisman is the reason why he's top 5? You think if he came in second in Heisman, he wouldn't be a top 3 pick?
Okay, we're talking 1 and 2 in Heisman voting.
But
There's
if they
not a
lost the
huge
national
difference.
championship,
If Michigan lost the national championship,
then he wouldn't have the national title under his name on his name.
yeah, and I don't think he is a first-round quarterback if they lose that national championship. I don't think he's a first-round quarterback to begin with, but
He's 6'3".
I think
He's not a small guy. He's going to be the fastest quarterback in the draft too.
who?
J.J. McCarthy. He's going to run a faster 40 than any other quarterback.
Then Jaden.
100%.
But Jaden is a
100%. Watch it. We can put money on it.
I'll put $5 on it.
Deal.
I'll gladly put 10 on that.
Watch him. He's so fast.
I'm just curious. What do you think he's going to run?
Like a 4.4. Like in the 4.4s.
I think you don't think Jaden will get in the 4.3s?
Hell no.
No.
The only quarterback who's ever broken the 4.3s is Lamar, I think.
Jaden Daniels is the next Lamar.
Lamar
They're
was-
pretty
Lamar was
similar.
a-
I've watched both of them.
I think J.J. McCarthy is a perfect system quarterback.
21 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I think J.J. McCarthy is a perfect system quarterback. I think you put him in the right system, and he will be a solid, average NFL quarterback.
So this is Anthony Richardson ran a 4.43 last year.
I think you put him in a position where he has to come out freshman year or his rookie season and play and make multiple plays a game to win games, and he has to lead a team. They are going to crash and burn because he is not a flashy, make big plays type of quarterback. He is handoff, play action. He's really good at this, is what I saw this year. And I'm not saying that's bad. I mean, we've seen guys like Brock Purdy go to the Super Bowl with the right system. JJ is going to need that right system.
I think the Broncos would be a good system for him. Sean Payton's a great quarterback developer.
Other than Drew Brees, who has he developed?
Drew Brees.
I don't think JJ McCarthy.
He's known as a good quarterback developer.
I don't
Like,
think
that is
JJ McCarthy has Drew Brees potential. But I
And
mean,
people
that's-
didn't think
that's
Drew
just me.
Brees had
Drew Brees
potential.
didn't have Drew Brees potential.
He was from Purdue.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not comparing the two when they came out. I'm saying I do not think JJ McCarthy has the ability to be anywhere near as good as Drew Brees was.
No one does. I don't think anybody in this draft does.
Besides Jaden Daniels.
That's
Which is why I think taking JJ
Wait, you don't
inside the
think
top
Caleb does?
10 is insane.
Good. I hate Caleb.
I saw some, I don't remember what his name was or who he writes for, but some analyst was ripping into Caleb Williams a couple weeks ago.
I personally this year I would rather not have anybody from the draft anyways. That's just me.
You want Russ?
I think with all the young players we have on offense, we need a veteran presence at quarterback. Or at least
Russell
somebody
Wilson?
like Justin who has NFL experience and knows what it takes to win NFL games.
We'll take Justin. We'll trade you Kenny.
Fuck no, you can keep him. I'll start Ritter over Kenny.
That's kind of crazy.
You need a veteran presence in that locker room like Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be awesome.
I would take Ryan Tannehill this year over JJ McCarthy. 100%.
I don't know. I think I'm
Ryan
buying into. I think
Ryan
I'm buying
Tannehill's
into the
been doing-
stock a little more. I think I obviously once I watch more non-handoffs, then
I just don't think like he's going to be able to come in day one and be a difference maker. Like I think
No, and I
he
don't
has some
think-
potential, but
I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to come in day one and be a difference maker. I don't think he's NFL ready.
No, I don't either. I don't think anybody in this draft is NFL ready.
I think Caleb's NFL. Actually, I think May is the most NFL ready, and then Caleb.
I think it's gonna be tough for any of these guys to come in and make a huge impact day one.
Wow.
Now, some of that is gonna be dependent upon where they go.
Whoever goes to the Bears is going to have success. The Bears,
If they can develop them. I mean, they haven't done a great job with Justin Fields. They're gonna have to find some form of what's the word I'm looking for? Stability at the OC position. And if they draft a quarterback this year, regardless of how the season goes, they're going to have to hold on to Eberflus for at least one more year after this year. Damn. To be able to give whoever they draft, if they draft a quarterback at 1, the ability to develop and be good. Because switching coaches and switching coordinators like Fields has had so far in his career is not good for your quarterback. It's so hard.
It's going to be a lot easier to not switch around after they go 9-8 this year, and continue to get better and better.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as they do what they should in the draft, I think they'll be good.
Dude, that second mock
JJ
draft-
McCarthy. So you would be happy with JJ McCarthy to the Vikings?
No, because we're in win now mode. We have all the pieces to win. We're 2 years off from being in true contention, and McCarthy's not ready for that. Now, if McCarthy went to the Broncos, who are in win now mode, that would make sense to
Which
me.
is why I think that's a terrible pick for the Falcons.
Right. I don't think it's a good pick for the Falcons. I think it's a good pick for the Broncos. I think if New England traded out of 3 and got him at 12, I don't hate that spot for him. Who else could take? I don't think. I mean, there's not a lot of. There's just not a ton of quarterback. The Raiders could take him, and I'd be okay. The Saints could take him to sit behind Carr for 2 years, and that would make sense to me. A Love situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're learning nearly as much from Derek Carr as you are from Aaron Rodgers, but I do get your point.
So, I mean, the Steelers could take him, and it wouldn't shock me.
No, we're not taking another quarterback 20th.
Trade up.
You might.
You'd have to trade up to get him.
We took if they
Because
don't
you're
get
about to enter a small rebuild phase.
if they don't get a free agent, we're sticking with Kenny. They're not going to do that.
They won't draft.
No, they're not going to go back to square one 2 years after drafting him.
Why? The Cardinals did it a year after drafting him.
That's
After drafting
different.
Rosen.
Josh Rosen was clearly done with him.
Are they not clearly done with Kenny? They
No,
started.
our
They
owner,
started. What's
our
his
owner
name?
came out and said Kenny's our guy, and we want to keep Rudolph around to help him compete. That was his quote.
When did
Like
he
you
say
have-
that?
Sounds like you have a dumb.
Right
owner.
after the playoff loss.
Really?
Yeah. He said
Right
we'd like
after
to
they sack Kenny
Yeah.
for the rest of the season to play behind.
for 8 weeks, right? Or for 7 weeks.
No, it was only
It was from
I think
Christmas.
it was 5 weeks.
It was from
including
Christmas
the-
to the playoffs.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
the
the
week-
Christmas game
That was
That was the
Mason's
first week. because Mason Rudolph saved Christmas.
So it's 4 or 5 weeks then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was hurt for 2 or 3 of them.
I don't know.
That
I'm
mock
really
draft-
interested to see what the Patriots do.
Draft whatever quarterbacks in front of him, probably. One of the 3.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of mock drafts increasingly
Bring
having the
Cam
Pats
Newton.
taking Marv at 3.
Who's throwing him the ball?
Here's my thing. I think the Patriots want Drake May. Like that, just for that organization, that is a Patriots quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That you would have gone from, obviously, like the Mac years aren't great, but you would have gone from
Brady to May.
Bledsoe to Brady to May, right? Like that is a prototypical Patriots quarterback. I think if he is not there, I don't see them pivoting that far and going and getting a real dual threat guy in Jaden Daniels. I think if Caleb and Drake are both, if you can get Caleb, you take Caleb, right? Like if you can trade up and you can get Caleb, you take Caleb.
Let's not act like Drake May isn't a mobile, like the dual threat quarterback.
He is the best pocket passer out of the 3, though.
He also has 16 rushing touchdowns over the last 2 years.
All I'm saying is that he fits the mold of a Patriots quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think I would not be surprised if with your new head coach, who you're going to have to give some years to, right? Like Robert Kraft already knows that. They're not in win now mode.
Right.
You got to let him implement his own system and do his own things and build his own culture. Like, he's going to have some years, and he's going to have at least one bad year this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's going to take at least another season for it to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So it would not shock me if Caleb and May are both off the board, that the Patriots pivot and they go, okay, we don't see our quarterback in this class this year at the number 3 pick, so we're going to take the sure thing and we're going to go grab our X factor on offense in Marvin Harrison. And then you give Mac one more chance with Jared Mayo, because they both know each other. They both been there. And if it doesn't work out, you'll probably have another top 8 pick next year. And then you let Jared Mayo, after a full year in the system, building his system, finding his culture, doing what he wants to do with the offense, go through a full offseason of scouting and getting reports and finding his guy, and you let him go pick his guy. That would not...
Next year's quarterback class is loaded.
Which is why it would not shock me.
Shador. Drew Aller's number 2 in this rankings. Connor Wegman's number 3. But then you got Beck, Ewers. I'm skipping over a couple guys. Riley Leonard. You have Jackson Dart, Graham Mertz, Noah Fafita.
Noah Fafita won't be in the class next year, will he?
He's eligible next year.
I guess he was.
Depends on if he was a freshman this year.
I guess he was a redshirt freshman this year.
Yeah. So technically he'll have his 3 years. Cam Rising's in there. I don't know if you're interested in that. Garrett Nussmeier's in there.
Get back to the dealership.
Garrett Nussmeier.
I'm riding the Nuss bus. He's going to need to go to the draft because we got Bryce Underwood coming in after that.
But
You're more going to be hoping he goes to the draft.
Drew Adler's
No,
gonna be
I
the
think
best
he'll be.
quarterback
I
in
think
that
we'll be
draft.
fine next year.
Huh?
Drew Adler's gonna be the best quarterback in this.
Drew
draft.
Aller?
Yeah.
No. Carson will be the best.
Whatever. Come on now. Dude looks. Come on. He looks like he was thrown in an oven as a kid, man.
He was throwing what?
He looked retarded.
Can't speak on that.
I'm just kidding.
Drew Aller is unbelievably large. Like, Shadur Sanders is 6'2", 215. Carson Beck's 6'4", 215. Quinn Ewers is 6'2", 195. Aller is 6'5", 245.
And he still sucks.
Damn.
He's got
He's
Cam Newton's
huge.
build. He's got Cam Newton's build, and he's still trash.
He's young.
Huge.
This year, he's going to go off.
I bet he does have a good year this year.
I think they avoid Michigan this year.
The Big Ten got harder.
Berth. They'll have a playoff berth.
You think they make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 12 team?
12?
Hell yeah.
They were
like
ninth
11
this
or
year.
ninth,
They were
right?
like they ended
Yeah.
like ninth this year.
They open up with their first.
If they win 10 games,
Their
they're in.
first 4 games are
Cakewalk.
ridiculously
It's
easy.
how every Big Ten year is.
They play at West Virginia,
Win.
at home against Bowling Green,
Win.
at home against Kent State,
Win.
at home against Illinois,
Win.
and at home against the head coachless, no quarterback, UCLA Bruins.
Win.
Well,
And
they do have their head coach now.
Yeah, they do. They just hired an assistant.
Then they go on a tough 4-game stretch. They play at USC.
Win.
I'm not guaranteeing that as a win.
I think it is.
I don't trust. That's a big game for them, and James Franklin is not a big game coach. I don't think that's a guarantee. I think that's a 50-50 game.
But Lincoln Riley is.
I don't think either one of them are.
Yeah, and I'll trust Aller more than I trust
Miller Moss.
Miller Moss right
Currently, yes, but I got to see.
I'm
now.
interested.
And that
Miller
defense
Moss
and
does.
Penn State's defense is the best in the country. And USC's
Was
is terrible.
last year.
They're not losing anybody to the draft.
They're not.
There's not a single top 10 prospect at any position who went to Penn State, I don't think. Most of
Chop
the
Robinson's not a.
besides Chop, I forgot about Chop. But most of that everybody else is coming back. I think.
They play at Wisconsin,
Win,
and they play at home against Ohio State,
loss,
and they play at home against Washington,
win.
and then they finish with, damn, they got
They got a cakewalk.
We win in
they got
11
one of the
games.
they got one of the easiest Big Ten schedules I have ever seen.
They'll
Win
probably
in
make a Big
11.
Ten
They play
championship
at
game at 11
Purdue,
and 1.
at Minnesota, and
Win-win.
versus Maryland.
They'll probably win 11 games, go to a Big Ten championship, and lose, but still make the top 12 seed,
We'll
and
see.
then get blown out by whoever they play,
We'll
aka
see.
Georgia.
We'll see if James Franklin can even get them there. If
It
he can
wouldn't
even get
surprise
there.
me. It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me with that schedule, but I also wouldn't be like shocked if James Franklin pulls a James Franklin and just chokes away their chance.
But even if they lose 2 games, like even if they drop another one of those, they're still a top 12 team probably. A 10-2 team.
Maybe. I mean, it's just gonna depend.
We'll see. Because Washington's not going to be the same they were this year. They're not going to. I don't think they'll make the playoff.
Oh, did you see that Grubb is going to the Seahawks? Big time move.
Grub.
Ryan Grubb.
Ryan Gribb.
He was the offensive coordinator of Washington. Accepted the job at Bama with his
DeBoer.
boss DeBoer, and then he said, "You know what? I'm a dip.
I would have done the same exact thing.
Same position.
Give me an offensive coordinator job in the NFL every day, even if
Over-
it's with the Commanders. I don't care. Over
And
a
the
college job.
Falcons.
the Seahawks are pretty good.
Yeah. They're going to the Super Bowl next year. You see the
I did see
script?
the logo.
Yeah.
Isn't it in Seattle?
Chiefs,
No, it's in New Orleans.
Chiefs, Seahawks, Super Bowl confirmed.
Or Bengals Seahawks.
It's gonna
That
be
is not
Bengals.
orange.
It's gonna be
Bengals. It wasn't that color red. That's for damn
We'll
sure.
see if Joe Burrow can play more than
It was
3
an ashy
games next
red.
year.
It's true.
Joe Burrow is still the second best quarterback in the league.
When he's on the field.
Yes.
We should do.
Again, availability is the best ability.
We should do postseason.
Gotta play to be
positional
good.
rankings. We should do all of our top 10 quarterbacks, running backs, receivers.
Like from their playoff performances.
No, just after the season, who do we think is the best quarterback? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh,
9,
you're
10.
talking about like going into next season.
Mhm.
Okay.
Excluding injuries, so we can't use Burrow and we can't use Kirk because
Or Aaron.
because we didn't see him at all. So I'm saying from this, like,
So like our top
like
10
almost grading this. Who were the top 10 quarterbacks from last season? Once we get closer to next
Okay,
season,
I was
we
about
can
to
do
say,
top
'cause
10 going into the season.
I give him a lot of shit, but Joe would still be in my top 10.
Yeah.
He would
But I'm
just be
saying
a little
when
bit
we get, When we
farther.
get to like July, we can do top 10 going into.
I was
But
about to say, because Aaron Rodgers is still a
right,
top.
still top 10. But now we can do like
To me, he might be a top 5 quarterback still, but that's. Talk
But-
about that later.
postseason grades.
Okay.
Brock Purdy clears.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, right.
Maybe we can do bottom 10.
All right,
In the middle
well-
10.
I know who's my number one.
Right now, that kind of wraps up football for us. We're gonna have to move on because the season is over, and we are gonna have this little bit of a gap between now and the draft. We've got to hop more into the NBA.
Let's go.
Timberwolves once again claim the number 1 seed, beat the Clippers 2 nights ago. Massive.
The
Massive.
West is. I think I'm gonna really enjoy the NBA playoffs this year. You've got so much competition right now across the league. It's finally a year where, again, the only team that's really been like standout is the only team with 40 wins right now in basketball. It's the Boston Celtics, and I got faith that they'll choke because Tatum and Jaylen Brown just don't show up in the big time moments. So I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed, and I got hope that they're gonna choke. So there's still a good bit of basketball left to be played. Most teams have played about 54 games right now. So you're looking at
like
for
30,
most 28 games left.
Yep.
For most teams. So we're entering the home stretch. Some interesting news came out of the trade deadline. The Golden State Warriors reached out to the Los Angeles Lakers about a potential trade for the King, which was quickly shot down by Rich Paul.
Rich Paul is a bitch.
and LeBron James, but I think that was a dumb move.
By the Warriors?
No,
By
by
the Lakers?
LeBron and the Lakers.
You think they should have traded him?
I do. I don't think that roster has a chance with competing with anybody inside the top 5 right now. I think that the Lakers, over the last couple of years, have given up so much draft capital and young players who had potential, like B.I., like
Kuzma.
Lonzo. Unfortunately, I mean, who knows? He could still be having the knee problems he had in L.A., but you've given up a lot of draft capital. You've given up a lot of young players to build this team around LeBron. It's a poor roster.
I don't think they built it around LeBron. I think that was their problem, is that they just acquired talent without thinking about, like, what does LeBron work well with? Because LeBron works well with catch and shoot guys. He works well with players who can spray.
You don't think the GM had anything to do with any of the guys they brought in?
I think he had less than when he had a hand in the Cavs signings, like when they brought in Corver and when they brought in like J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson and
Dellavedova.
and what's his
Yeah.
name?
Iman.
Yeah, Iman Shumpert. Like he plays well when he has shooters around him. Like that's when he's found his most success, is when he has shooters around him, because he is the high IQ guy who makes the right passes. And he'll find the open guys, but if they're not hitting shots, then they're of no value. So bringing in guys like Rui Hachimura, who are okay 3-point shooters, or Austin Reeves is obviously having a down year, so he's not nearly as effective.
I don't think he's having a down year. I think he is playing like the kind of player that he is. I think he had a jump in the playoffs last year.
Max Strus-esque jump.
Exactly. And then he came back down to earth. I think everybody got way overhyped about him in 1 year. That's my opinion.
Remember people were
I
talking
think it would've
about
been
him getting like 80 mil in the offseason.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a fantastic move for LeBron, in my opinion.
What?
That team automatically gets so much better with the addition of LeBron. Your 1, 2, and 3 now becomes Steph, Clay, and Bron.
Clay got benched, didn't he?
Clay's not the 2. No, it's Kuminga now.
Is it?
Kuminga
He's
has
averaging
been
like 20.
ball-
He's been on a tear.
It's crazy what happens when he talks shit about your coach.
You got
Yeah.
Steph,
Kinda
Clay,
like it.
or you've got Steph, Kuminga, and LeBron. Now LeBron, everybody constantly calls Steph, he is a point guard, but when, like, I've been reading about it and watching a lot of Steph's film, Steph plays like a shooting guard in the sense of he is off the ball a lot, moving around the floor, finding the open spot. He's a great catch and shoot guy. I think him and LeBron would have worked really well together. And, I mean, obviously LeBron's whole idea, now that he's stat padded his way to other records, he's only playing now to win more championships. And that Lakers
As
team,
opposed to Steph Curry's just playing to play.
no, they're both playing to win championships.
So
That's the reason they're both playing.
LeBron and
That's the
Draymond would
reason
have got along
everybody's
real
playing.
good too.
Not everybody.
they would.
you don't think everybody's playing to win a championship?
No. I'll literally, after this, I will pull you up a podcast clip for you of,
Jeff Teague.
no, was it Jeff Teague that you
Yeah.
sent me? He talks about it. Talks about, yeah, it is not, I don't understand why you think it's so far-fetched that a lot of these dudes are out there literally just to get as much money as they physically can. And winning is secondary.
That podcast is kind of funny
I-
because Jeff Teague doesn't care.
There's like,
No.
I think
But
you're
there
talking
are-
about like 2% of the NBA.
No.
I feel like
2%.
it's everybody who doesn't have one of the supermax contracts, and then
Or anybody who isn't on a
the guys who
super
have the
team.
max contracts are the ones that have to encourage the entire team to want to win a ring, and some of them aren't as good as others.
We need to talk to an NBA player.
You know any?
No. Not off the top. I do know a G League player.
we need to talk to a role
Supermax
player.
guy. We need to talk to Tobias Harris.
We need to talk to a role player, not LeBron,
Let's talk to
not
James Harden.
Steph, not Giannis.
Oh, I'll talk to all of them.
Well, yeah, I'd love to, but not about this because I think you
So we need to talk
in
to
your
like,
mind have like such this like, oh, all these guys are out there like they're competing so hard, like basketball so difficult. They're playing, everybody's playing to win, like this utopia of basketball in your head that does not exist. Not all of these guys are playing to win.
we need to talk
A
to
lot
Cole
of these
Anthony.
guys play basketball to make
this.
money.
Clip this. This is a TikTok. This is a good TikTok.
Absolutely.
Clip it.
Absolutely. Because
I
I'm
don't know
not
how far
wrong.
we are into the episode.
I'm not wrong.
Huh?
I don't know how far we are into the episode, so we'll have to find it.
About an hour.
Yeah, about an hour.
About an hour.
Just over.
Not all these dudes are playing to win. A lot of these guys are in the league as role players who are not playing on loaded teams.
So you don't think if you asked Dario Saric, I'm just looking at the Warriors roster, if you went to him and said, like, why are you playing basketball? You don't think he'd say to win or to win championships? He'd say to make money.
Depends on
How
when you
honest
ask
he
him.
is.
Yeah, it
Like,
depends on how
like he-
honest he is.
So you think if he was honest, he'd say he's there for money, not to win. He doesn't care about winning. He just wants to make money.
I mean, that one depends. He's on the Warriors, so might be a little different. He's
if you ask
playing with
Kevon Looney,
That assumes that it's absolutes, and only a Sith deals in absolutes. So it's just it's a pendulum or it's a scale. One scale.
and you're also
versus-
talking about guys who are playing with the best point guard of all time.
Kyle Kuzma.
They're not playing
No.
with Magic Johnson.
You think Kyle Kuzma's he doesn't care about winning?
He's playing for money.
Kyle Kuzma wants to build
you know-
something in DC.
You know, he turned down a deal, like he was offered, like he has no trade clause, I think. And there was a deal set in place to send him to the Mavericks. And he said, no, I want to build something in Washington.
Yeah, he
To
wants
win a
to build
championship.
something with a supermax offer that
He already
The
is getting
Wizards.
paid.
yeah, and he'll get paid even more to stay in Washington than he would go get paid with
It's the same
Luka
contract.
and Kyrie already. Yeah,
He
but
already
when the
signed his
time
extension.
when it
He already signed a new deal.
if he cared about winning, he would have went to the Mavericks.
Not necessarily true. He cares about winning where he's at. He cares about winning with the teammates he's with, not
he
just
wants to
about
be a
money.
real winner, not
Okay.
like LeBron, who just bounces
Okay.
from team to team.
Exactly.
Kyle Kuzma wants to be the number one option on his team.
Because he cares about he cares about
he cares about
scoring and
himself.
he cares about winning.
He cares about himself and building stats and being a number one guy so that when he gets his last good contract extension, it will be a good one.
I don't know. You don't think Trae Young cares about winning?
I mean, does he? I'm sure he does, but I think it's a lot easier for him to say he cares about winning when he signed a Supermax.
The real question is, do you think?
I think he cared more about winning before he got to Supermax than he does now.
I don't understand why getting paid to win would hinder your want to win.
Because everyone, if you asked them what is more important besides like a handful of guys that have made their money and who have set up their kids, and their kids, like LeBron, like Steph Curry, like Kevin Durant. I think if you ask most of these guys in the league that have not ever tasted a championship, have not even guys who have played for the Hornets, the Raptors, the Wizards, like the Pistons right now, the Rockets, what is more important to them, money or winning?
That's not what the question is. It's not what's more important. It's what are you playing for? There's a difference in those two questions because obviously,
how is there a difference?
because at the end, you can ask somebody what's more important at the end of the day, like when your career's over, and it's going to be, well, I want to make sure my family's set up for life. But while you're playing, it's about winning.
Tell me how that makes sense.
Because when
How
your
are you gonna-
career's
ha-
over,
ha- when your
once you
career-
once you retire, it doesn't matter. Like your wins, it doesn't matter. Once you retire, it doesn't matter. But while you're playing to win basketball games.
So if the wins don't matter when your career's over,
Because why would they play at all if they don't care about winning?
to make money. Why
Right,
do
and after
people
the
get up at
career's
5?
over-
Why do people get up at 5 a.m. and go work a shitty job and get calluses all over their hands building the roads that you drove here on? Because they care about the roads and they care about building
Maybe
a great
lot
road.
Of people do. A lot of people.
No,
do.
the fuck they do not. They gotta eat.
So why do you do this?
Why do I do this? Why do I do this?
Why do you do this?
To make fucking money. And because it is a better way.
Corporate greed.
And because it is a better way to make money than other ways I could go make money.
I think that's a bad mindset in general. Because I think if you're not doing things because you enjoy doing them,
That's bullshit. I enjoy this more than other things, but it is still a job. There are still days where I wake up and I'm like, damn, I don't want to edit a video today. Or damn, I do not want to take notes today. Or damn, I don't want to have to sit for 3 hours and us try to brainstorm some shit. Like there are days like that. There are days like that in any job. There are days when NFL players wake up and they're like, damn, it is Monday. My body fucking hurts from the game yesterday. I do not enjoy what I feel like right now. I do not want to have to go sit in the ice bath. I do not want to have to go do PT today. Does that mean they hate what they do? Absolutely not. But there are days when you have to do what you have to do because that's what you have to do, not just because you wake up and the sun is shining, it's all rainbows and glitter coming out your ass, and it's a fantastic day and you just absolutely enjoy what you do. If that was true, that they just play because they love the game, you wouldn't have so many guys. How am I trying to put this?
So did Michael Jordan play for money, or did he play to win?
Hell no. Michael Jordan played to win. That's why he's won 6 finals. That's why he
So
won
did
every.
Kobe Bryant played for money, or did Kobe Bryant play
No,
to win?
Kobe played to win. Why are you asking me if the greatest players of all time played to win or played
Does
for money?
LeBron play for money? Or does
No, LeBron plays to win.
He just doesn't.
I just told you this. Ask guys who are not just the best of the best. The average player cares more about making money than they do winning. And that's a fact. The average guy.
I disagree, but there's not going to be any, there's nothing else I can say. I don't agree.
I just don't. I mean, if you.
I think that you undermine the years and years and years of work that people put in to get to the place where they're at. And that they finally get to a place where they can perform in front of thousands of millions of people and enjoy winning basketball. I think that's a real thing.
I think there's been plenty of guys who played in bad D1 programs that consistently lost and then got drafted to a bad team that consistently lost, and their focus becomes money.
Do you think stat padding in the NBA is a real thing with some players?
Sure.
So, okay. Do you think it's a very prevalent thing though?
No, I don't think it's a prevalent. I think it depends on what's happening. I think if you're like a rebound off a triple double, then I think yes, you're gonna like push people out of the way to get there, like your teammates out of the way to get the rebound, because for things like that. But if it's like, what's another example of stat padding? Just scoring when your team's down, when the team's up.
I would say people gave James Harden in Houston a hard time about stat padding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess just playing like that.
What did he
hogging.
do that was stat padding?
I don't know because I didn't watch him back then. But that's all I heard about James Harden. Was he
The
was a stat
only
padder.
reason they won is because he was scoring
And
35 points a game.
They said about Russell Westbrook too.
They said that yes, Russell Westbrook would do it when he had like a rebound left to get. He would or an assist to get. He would force assists. Yes, when you're going for that last notch on the triple double, yes, it is a real thing. People are intent, even if it's not the perfect play or the smartest play, they're making the play to try and get the triple double.
What do you think?
Yeah, what?
I mean, it's probably a bad thing. But what do you think the motivation for doing stuff like that is? Do you think it's for a championship or for a higher contract?
Because they want a
when look
triple
back?
double.
Yeah, what does the triple double do for them?
You, at the end of the day, you're like, I had this many triple doubles.
When
Getting
you
an extra
when you
triple double isn't.
negotiate your
Yeah, when you
contract.
go negotiate your
I don't think-
contract,
It's like, look, I got a triple
20
double
triple
against the
doubles
Jazz.
versus 10 triple doubles is going to get you a better contract, is it not?
But I don't think that's what it's for. I don't think he's like, look, I made it.
I think
had a
you're
triple-double
naive
against
to the
Jazz.
fact that there are so many people in this world that do so many things just for money. I think you're being naive to that point. Like, why do you do this?
Because I enjoy it and I like talking about
So
sports.
If we didn't pay you a dime
I would be here.
and you had to drive out here
I'd be
and
here. I'd be here.
You would do this for the next 10 years
Sure.
for free?
Sure. I have 2 other jobs. Like, I have other jobs. One of them doesn't pay me. I have another job that I do for fun. And I have another job that I do get paid at.
You are in a small minority of people then. Because there are not very many people on the face of this earth that show up to do something that requires their time, energy, mental, brain power, capacity, just because they enjoy shit. That's just not the way the world works.
I think if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then you're going to want to kill yourself at the end of it.
Yeah.
I think.
And there's so many people out there like that.
And so I choose to believe that.
And I think if you are, first off, you're going to be hard pressed to find guys in the league playing right now that would tell me the truth when I asked them that question. Because it's going to affect the way their teammates, coaches, GMs view them, right? So you'd have to find retired guys. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if I am 6'6", 240 pounds, God-given athletic, yes, I would much more enjoy playing basketball than I would cutting trees down for a living. 100%. That doesn't mean that I go out to win basketball games all the time. You can play the game.
Why not just sit out and lose if you get paid?
Why would I sit out?
Because you're already getting paid. The second you get the contract, why don't you just sit down?
You don't make your money that way.
But once you get paid, if it's fully guaranteed, why don't you just sit down? Ouch, I'm hurt.
That's what Deshaun did.
Yeah, why don't more people
Pretty
just
much.
do that?
Oh, my shoulder.
Because you
massage.
can't do that.
But why do they continue to play?
Because
I
you
don't want
have
a
to.
team
That is
doctor.
part of your fucking contract. You don't get paid and then you don't get paid and then you just get to go sit on your ass. That's not how shit works.
Unless you're Zion. Oh, I think he's been playing, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been playing.
Yeah.
I think he's played
Hey, you want to know why Zion's been playing?
at least 45 of their games. I think when you were talking about stat padding, it like for
Zion's played 43.
for Harden's sake, I don't think he was.
I didn't watch.
I think they
watch
just
the
needed
basketball back then.
him to do
I think
everything possible.
In a sense like that, I think there's a little bit of a pride thing too. Like if Harden wasn't balling, that team's like the Wizards. And I think a guy like Harden is like, I don't want to be on a team like that. So let me just make my team better.
Cares about winning.
Again, the top guys in the league will care about winning because they are the best and they want to be considered the fucking best. But a guy like Onyeka Okongwu right now on the Hawks is going to play harder for his own stats to get a better contract, to better his
I think
family.
that's a part of it. I'm not ignoring that that's not a part of it. Like, I believe
I
that
think
that's a factor, but I don't think that's the sole factor to him.
I didn't say it was the soul. We're talking
You
about
said they don't care about winning.
the more important thing to a lot of these guys is money. Sure, they can, obviously, if your team has better success, like, you get more money when your team wins the finals. You
Right.
get a bonus check. So, sure, would you like to go to the finals and win the finals? Absolutely. But when it comes down to the end of it, when you're on a team like the Nets or the Raptors or the Hornets, the Wizards, the Bulls, the Hawks, you have no championship aspirations right now.
Right.
You are not playing. Your main focus right now is not playing to win this late in the season. Your main focus right now is about putting up the best numbers that you can possibly put up so that if your contract year is coming up or your team was shopping you at the trade deadline to get rid of you, or your team was looking to move you, your main focus is going to be to put up the best numbers possible to get you the best bag that you can possibly get.
So I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You think for some of these guys that's like a forced mindset? Like, I just so happen to be on one of the worst teams in the NBA, so I want to win, but we can't win, so I'm going to just
Stat bad.
try and get my bag instead.
Yeah, I would. If I was on the
So
Hornets
they do
right
care
now,
about winning. It's just situational.
for some of them, yes. But I still think there are guys in the league who might have lost the passion for basketball a year or two into their college season. But we're like, I'm still playing well. They got me high on draft boards. I want to change my family's literal trajectory of wealth. And I can do that a lot easier playing in the league than I can in corporate America. I think that exists. And I think...
So, this is just...
I think the top... Like, you look at Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum wants to win basketball games. Jason Tatum wants to win basketball games because he's tired of hearing people say that he can't finish and he is a choke artist.
So when the Grizzlies win a basketball game. No. Let's pick a more middling team. When the Warriors win a basketball game and Moses Moody's like dumping water on Steph after the game, screaming, hollering, celebrating. He's like, hell yeah, I just got this check because we won this game. Let's go. I'm going to get an extra 50 grand from this game. Or do you think it's because like we won? Whoop-de-woo.
The Warriors are also a dynasty. That's a terrible team to point at.
The Nets. Let's say Mikal Bridges, who's already gotten paid, wins a game, and Nick Claxton comes behind him, dumps water on him, and he's celebrating. He's like, let's go. This means I'm going to get more money now. Woo! And they're celebrating real hard, screaming, hooping, hollering because they just won a close game against the Kings. Is that because they're getting paid or because they enjoyed winning?
Who doesn't enjoy winning?
No one.
Exactly.
So
It doesn't mean you cared the whole time about winning the game.
third quarter,
winning.
dribbling up the court. I'm about to get another 50 grand from this shot right here. Whoop. Pow. Let's go. We just took the lead.
You're completely...
50 grand. Give it to me.
That's not how shit works and you know it. But every guy is playing for their next contract. From the minute you ink the first one, you're playing for the fucking next one until you decide to retire.
Right.
That's a fact.
Yep.
Also, nobody fucking enjoys losing.
Right. So they're all trying to win.
Doesn't mean they're trying.
But nobody enjoys losing. So why would they intentionally lose? All they have to do is try and they win. Nobody likes losing. Everybody likes winning. Why wouldn't they try?
Now you're trying and your main focus being fucking winning basketball games are two different things.
But if they're not
If you don't try, you ain't gonna get no fucking contract.
But if they're not trying, then they don't care about winning.
You have to try to get your bag. If you don't play hard, you're not getting paid.
I mean, yeah. But
Kind of goes hand in hand. Nobody likes losing. You also have to play well to get paid.
Correct.
So just because you played hard and you dropped 30 doesn't mean that your main focus every single game you step on the court is just winning, being the best, going out here. Somebody on if you're in a contract year and your team sucks, yeah, you're going to go out there every night and try and drop 40 and win games, because if you're leading the team to winning games and you're putting up more numbers, you are going to get paid more. That's how the league works.
I mean, yeah. Like, it's a factor. I'm not going to, it is a factor that you're going to get paid. But like I said,
I just don't think, we're on opposite ends of it, and that's fine. But I think the way it comes off to me is that you think, everybody who steps on the court every single night has, Kobe's mentality of, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to crush the dude I'm playing because I want to win this basketball game. I want the team to get this basketball win. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to win the NBA Finals, and that's just not true.
I think the way that you think about it is I just want to make more money than the person next to me. That's all I care about. I just need to make money.
Everybody cares about themselves more than anybody else.
Nah.
I
think that's a warped mindset that you have. That's just I need to make more money, more money, more money, more money.
No,
not
I think
everybody's like that.
Not everybody. There are some people out there who are much more selfless than the people around them and who would rather care for other people than themselves. NBA
It's not
basketball
even
players
caring
are not
for
that
other people.
group.
It's doing something not because it makes you money. but because you love it and you enjoy it.
There are people out there, yes, that love the game and play the game as it is. But nobody in the NBA would play for free.
Probably. That's probably fair. But actually, I think some people would play for free. Not everybody, but some people. Or if
They would work another job and support their own travel to and from.
I think the only reason they
Other
wouldn't play for
arenas.
free is because you just need,
Because
like,
nobody's
there's
going to
just
do
a
anything for free.
livelihood. Like you just have to make money to survive. Not trillions of dollars, not billions of dollars.
You just kind of prove my point.
No,
You have to make money to.
If they got paid $200,000, that'd be a more than livable salary.
Yeah, now all you're saying is that NBA money is inflated, which it is. They get paid
Yeah.
too much.
Right.
But
yeah.
$200,000 is more money than most Americans will make this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a bad argument. Most of these guys would not go out there and play for $25,000 a year. 30,000.
I think if the money
40,000,
wasn't inflated like
50,000.
it was, they would. Like if the money wasn't inflated like it was, it would. But it's just an inflation market. Like it's just completely inflated. So there's no real like. I guess that's not a
And
good argument.
how many guys do you see turn down Supermax deals so that the team has more money to spend on other talent?
I mean, you do see it.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
When?
Who was it? A couple weeks ago. That, like Shohei. Shohei got.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Shohei got the money down the line, but he structured his contract so that they could acquire more talent to win now.
He's still going to get paid $1 billion.
Right, but he's caring about winning now. He doesn't care about the money right this second.
He's
'Cause
taking.
he
He's
doesn't
taking a
need
loss,
it.
though.
He doesn't need it right now.
How many years is that? Because he's
10.
losing probably like 10% each
10.
year that he's not getting paid.
Yeah, because of the inflation of
He doesn't need that money right now.
Neither does anybody. Nobody needs the money.
Unless you're a
Like a
Jaquez, whatever
Yeah.
his name is.
Tommy Hakes.
Whatever, yeah.
He made $42.2 million in his 6 seasons with the Angels.
total.
Yeah, that's more money than most of us will see in our lifetime
Exactly. So he took a pay cut so his team could acquire more assets to win now.
because he did not need it. It's not like he's not getting the money. It's not like he didn't sign the biggest contract in baseball history by almost double.
Right, but the question was, when have we seen people take pay cuts so that their team can acquire more assets?
He didn't.
LeBron's done that.
Deferring money is not taking a pay cut.
What about Tom Brady?
Tom Brady did it
And look where it got him. He's the GOAT.
because he
Look-
cared about winning.
Now, a guy like Lamar, when it comes down to coming back for the playoffs or getting that fat contract, that's a different story.
Deshaun Watson, when it comes to even Patrick Mahomes, made sure he got his money.
But that money was good then, but
He's not
come
the highest
come
paid.
2020,
Or actually-
2028, that is going to be a cheap quarterback contract.
With inflation, sure.
Yeah,
But
thanks
he
a
is
lot,
the
JV.
highest paid football player of all time right now in overall contract value, is
Yeah.
he not?
I think so. 509, I think it was.
Yeah.
Shohei didn't take a pay cut. Shohei deferred his money. Because
But he could
Yeah,
have taken a
he-
deal with the Yankees to make $70 million this year and next year and the following year and the following year.
The
and
Yankees
either
would've
way, he would have got
swung
paid
out.
the same amount in overall contract value.
Yeah.
You see, it's not because then the Dodgers are going to be terrible when his contract's over. Because they're going to be paying him $70 million a year.
But if they care about money, would you rather have $1 million now or $1 million 5 years from now, adjusted for inflation? You're really only getting about
800,000.
I mean,
That's about 20%.
800 million, 600 million,
If they care about
500 million. I don't.
if they care about the money though, then it should be like
And
I need
that
it
should
much.
matter.
I need it now.
That should matter a lot. If the number's changing from 800 to 600.
It's fun to poke at both of them.
I mean, $600 million is $600 million.
But what if you could have 800?
Take his side.
Cool,
and
you
then
got-
take his side. And take his side.
Cool, you got $200 more million
It doesn't
to
matter.
piss
right?
off.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, I mean, when you're talking about that much money, no, it really doesn't matter.
So the difference between 70 and 60 million, does that matter a lot?
What about the difference between 1 and 2 rings though,
That's a legacy.
or 4 and 6?
That's forever.
Whoa. Those are not that far apart.
Farther apart than you might think.
What about 10 to 6?
10.
Who's got
Talking
10?
about Bill?
No, I'm talking about appearances.
Oh.
That's
What
not-
about 6 to 0
what defensive player of the years?
losses?
I don't think LeBron has any
What about-
defensive players of the year.
He hasn't. He doesn't. He was second like 3 times.
He was only the scoring leader.
What about
once, too,
what
right?
about 40K to 32K? That's 8,000 difference.
Between what?
LeBron's points and Michael Jordan's points.
Oh, give me a break.
I think that about does it for this episode.
Yeah, we got to wrap it up.
We
We got to get into pick 'em.
Oh yeah, 20 minutes.
We will be
we really
back
got like 12.
next week. We will have our first, probably for the most part, full NBA episode.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that's where we were going to go more today, but we ended up spending 30 minutes on the Super Bowl, 35 minutes on the Super Bowl.
20 minutes on some alcohol. at the
Yeah, we
beginning.
talked a lot about alcohol at the beginning, and then here we are.
I'm 21 years old. Just to preface.
Sure
I'm
you are.
also 21 years old.
Well, we are.
All 4 of us
Yeah.
for now. I'm about to enter my T Swift year.
1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a little over 1 week, but
Everybody comment, happy birthday, Joe.
happy birthday, Joe. You can comment it next week, too.
And next week.
All right, it was an interesting episode. Hopefully, we've got something exciting coming for you guys soon, too. By the way, I'm not gonna spoil it, but hopefully, it's coming
Hard.
And fast.
and soon,
I don't want to use another adjective.
quickly.
All over the place.
That was my nickname in high school.
All
I mean,
over?
in elementary school. All over the place. It's because I had terrible ADHD and I literally would just run around the school.
That doesn't surprise me,
My nickname was Fat Bastard. My dad gave it to me.
dude. That's terrible.
I know.
Can I call you like?
No.
Clip
no,
a picture of middle school Joe.
Can I call you Skinny Bastard now?
No. That's bad too. Call me Buff Bastard.
BB.
Oh, yeah.
We need to find one more B so you could be like the Ball brother, just triple B.
The big buff boy.
Yeah.
Big buff bastard. All right, that does it for this episode of From the Stands. This will be out Thursday morning around 10 o'clock. Check it out. Drop a comment. Drop a like. Smash. Yes, you heard that right. Smash that sub button. If you're listening to the audio-only version on Apple Podcast or on Spotify, give us a follow or add us, whatever you do on there. Drop a 5-star review, leave a comment, do all the good things for the fellas. We appreciate you tuning in to this week's episode. We will see you next week. Peace.